welcome to Living with the Ancients. For me, part of what makes life worth living is music and celebration. And how do we do that? Well, I love to do it with the drum and with the dance and all that around the fire. But what happens if our drum breaks? We have to fix it. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to take this beautiful djembe and we're going to give it a new skin, new rings and all that, so that it will sing again and that we may use it to drum and dance around the fire. So stick with us. I'm going to show you every process, removing the rope, making the new rope rings, and then putting on the new hide, shaving the hide and tuning the skin. So I hope you enjoy this process, and I hope you find it useful in repairing your own instruments. So we're going to start by removing all the rope. So this is going to be the upper outer ring. So once I wrap this all the way to here, I'll glue it, hold it in place, and then I'll put my final ring, my little loops here on that. Okay, so this is the next step. Okay, so what I'm doing now is I'm going to start making the bottom rope ring. So I'm going to keep this here, I'm going to take all this string off and this green stuff, and then I'm going to put on this nice red to match the top ring, and that will be the next step. So we're making a series of loops here on this bottom ring that will allow us to attach the head and tune it ultimately. Here we are. So we've started our loops and we go to the next one. So you can see we go over, then we go right through that. Stick your finger in there, make sure the spacing is right. Okay. Then you're gonna go under and back through that loop. Cinch this down. Okay, just like so. And it's a little wider, so I'm going to take a little bit of that tension out just to adjust it. So I want it to be as uniform as possible. Okay. There, just like that. So I'm here at the end of the rope. We have all the rings are attached. Okay. And now we want to join these two to make sure that it has a good hold. So we're going to put them right through here like so. And we're going to give them an extra tight pull here. That could be okay. And then we're going to snip them and fuse them together. this. So we just finished the bottom rope ring here with all the loops, and we have 19 on the bottom, so that means we want to have 19 on the top ring as well. So what we're going to do is, while we're making that ring, we're going to take our skin, our goat skin, and you want to have an African goat because they do have a thinner skin than North American goats, and you also want a female goat because the male goats tend to have a pretty strong goaty smell because of their pheromones. So try to get that kind of skin from that place. All these skins and rope and everything came from Woola Drum, my good friends there. Love those people. Some of the best people on the planet. The most amazing percussionists, and those, I think, also with the biggest heart. So if you're looking for djembe stuff, go to Woola.com or maybe WoolaDrum.com. Anyways, look for Woola, you'll find them. Woola means forest. So we're gonna put this skin here into our water, and we're gonna let it soak. The warmer your water is, the faster they will become soft. So we're gonna fix a couple drums today, and while we're working on those rope rings, we're gonna just let these skins soak, and that way by the time we're done making the rings, we'll be ready for the next step. Alright, we are now one step closer to finishing our djembe. So we put 22 loops on the top, 22 on the bottom. I actually had to redo this a couple times because I miscounted and I misjudged the space. So that's fine, that's all part of the process. So just have patience and a sense of humor and you'll enjoy life a lot more. Anyways, so what we're going to do is we're going to put this spot here where we have the juncture of the rope in line vertically, just for aesthetics, just to kind of keep it nice and even. And what we're going to do now is we're going to take our rope here and we're going to start doing our vertical loops to cinch these together. Okay, so I'm going to leave a bit of space here so that it's easy to get this on and off, and to help ensure that ultimately when I do the final, when I tighten it, I get this nice and level. I don't want it to be tweaked. It can be nice and loose at this stage, okay? So we're ready now to put on the skin. What we have is our top ring, our bottom ring all set, and our verticals put in. We have our ring here that the goat skin wraps around, and ultimately the skin goes in between this ring and this ring, and that's what sandwiches it and holds it in place. So what you want to do is make sure that your ring is lined up with the shape of the drum, because as you play it, it will change from that wonderful perfect circle to slightly oblong. So now what we're going to do is, as you can see, it gets a little narrower through here. So this is the skinniest spot, so this is where we want to play from now on to help kind of flatten that back out. So that way, as you're playing this drum over time, you will ultimately contribute to its roundness, making adjustments every time you change the skin. So what we're going to do is we're going to put the thickest part of the skin right there where it's most oblong, and then the spine will go straight across. So that way, because you're going to play there where the shoulders are, that's where the thickest part of the skin is. So right there is where we're going to put it, and we're going to line it up just like that. Also, we want to make sure this ring is the right shape and lined up with that ring. And let me see, how does this look? Oh, there we go, right there. It's all set, everything is in place to now put the skin on. So when we do this, we want to do it in stages. First just getting it on, and then adding the rest of these vertical pieces to complete the circle. Then we'll go around and we'll make little adjustments here to make sure that this ring is level and that the top ring is as level as possible. Then another trip around will help to tighten it down, and maybe even one more after that for the final kind of tuning before it starts to dry. So we just got to grab our skin. And what you want to do is take that skin out of the water, and you're going to wring it out. Get a nice little twist in there. Get all the water out of it that you can. Yeah. Awesome. There she is. A lovely goat. Okay. Then I just like to pull it in all directions just to kind of stretch it out evenly. Okay. Then what we're going to do is we're going to find the narrowest part of our drum where it has become most oblong, which appears to be right about there. Okay, so we're going to put our spine and the thickest part of the hide up there where it has become the most narrow. And how do you know where that is? Well, when you pet down the animal's back, as the hair is nice and smooth, you don't feel any real resistance. That's going from the shoulder to the back. If you feel scratchy and the hair's coming up, that means you're going from the butt of the animal to the shoulder. And so the thickest part of the hide is up here at the shoulder. So that's where you want to play it most, or that's where you're going to play it most. The skin has a beautiful sound there, and it'll be most durable because it's thicker. So we line that up there. We basically see how it's going to fit. And then what you do is you take the skin and you're going to flip it over the ring. Okay, trying to keep the tension as even as you can. Across there, just a nice general fold. Then once you have that, everything's all lined up. Try to get the big creases out here, and then what we're going to do is we're going to pull this ring, the top ring, up and over. So that's going to go right up over the top of the skin and the other ring. Okay, I want that to come all the way out here. Like that. And then you can pull the extra little folds out of the skin. Try to get the tension evenly distributed across the surface of that membrane. Okay, so there we are. That's loosely on there. Here we go. Time to finish the vertical ones here, and then make an even pass around to level it out. So basically what I'm going to do is get this even and level. Make sure the rings are in alignment. It's much easier to do if you're sitting up above it, like so. Get the rope out of the way. The rings are pretty well lined up. Then take the extra wrinkles and folds out of the skin. So pulling it crosswise here. Okay, all across there. Getting this on there. Okay, so now what we need to do is just evenly take all the slack out of our rope here and keep this skin nice and even. Okay, we're not really trying to tighten it down yet. We're just trying to get it nice and level, okay? So that is our next step. So pulling all the slack out. Pretty much level here and even tension across the skin. Now we got to take some more slack out and maintain that level stature and ultimately tighten it down a bit, get it slightly tuned, make another little tweak, and then it looks like we may have to make one more pass with this one. It's always worth taking your time to ensure that the head stays level and you get a nice even seal on the drum. Alright, so we're going to make another pass now and try to give it a little bit of a pull. It's a little lower on this side than it is right from here to here. So I'm going to try to give this a little extra pull. This is actually where the skin is thickest, so it's not stretching quite as much. So I'm going to try to pull this side down just a little bit to try to make it as perfectly level as possible. And this will be the last pass around before I wrap it to dry it. So we're going to use this strap here to hold the skin down nice and flush with the frame and the rings. So we're going to tie it super duper tight, and then we're going to pull the skin down nice and tight underneath it, and we'll let it dry. There. Okay, so we got that on nice and tight all the way around there. I'm just going to snug that down a little bit so it rests just underneath that rim. Hugs all the way down, nice and even. Across there. Good, then we're going to pull the goat skin down, get it nice and tight underneath. There we go, she's pretty. Yee! So here she is, ready to dry. All we do is just wait for the skin to be totally dry all the way through. We'll take this off, trim it, shave it, tune it. She's done. And we'll have her for the Halloween party this weekend. Alright everybody, here we are. She's nice and dry. Time to take off the wrapping there. And what we're going to do is we're going to trim this, and then we're going to shave this, and then we'll tune it. And she'll be ready for the party tonight. So that's exactly what we're going to do. Then you may just want to give it one final little trim. Clean up the bottom edge. Give it to the haircut. Okay, so we're getting closer and closer now. We have it trimmed and she's ready to be shaved. So what we're going to do is take a knife here and we're going to drag it as the hide's going down this way. This is the shoulder, this is the back of the animal, so it's smooth this way. So we're going to kind of go across that, not against it, but kind of with it at a different angle to ensure that we don't gouge the skin. So the grain of the hair is going this way, so we're going to go across this way. Okay.
Alright, this is almost the final step in fixing our drum. So we have a pull tool here with a nice clam cleat to grip the rope and lever the string, and we have a pair of pliers. So we're going to go all the way around and cinch it down for the rough tuning. So when you do this, you may want to get a blanket or a towel or something to put on the drum, so as you're pulling you don't gouge the wood and make some not nice marks there. So basically you're going to pull and cinch the rope, go to the next one. Take the slack out, find the next vertical that pulls downward, and tighten, cinch that one down, pinch it there, go. There, now she's nice and smooth. So what we're going to do is our final bit of tuning here. Okay, so when you're tuning it, you go under 2, go back over the second one, then once you get that in there, you bring it underneath, so that way you get an even, steady line so you don't start to creep up at a diagonal. Pull that slack out of there, then go under the next 2 to help cinch it down and prepare you for your next pull. Okay, so bring this down underneath that, snug it in, and you're ready to pull and tighten the string. And there you go. Alright, so once you get it tuned up to a good spot, just wrap this extra string around the bottom here and play away. And then over time you'll have to tune it with the humidity and the temperature and all that stuff. As that fluctuates and as you play it, the skin will loosen. But here we have a djembe ready to sing again. Yes, we do. So I hope you enjoyed learning how to fix your drum. Any suggestions, let me know, and I'm happy to share any questions that you may have. Hopefully I can answer them. Have a good one, y'all, and happy Halloween.